Hello and welcome to my 6-string journey. On this channel I'm documenting my journey learning to play the electric guitar, my highs, my lows, reviews of my guitar lessons and also reviews of the gear that I'm using. And today we're going to be looking at my wireless headphones. Now I wasn't planning on doing this video because this is quite a difficult topic, and as a beginner my expectations may well not be as high as most people out there. But there's been so much talk online, both on the Reddit forums and including the comments in my videos since I mentioned I was going to get some wireless headphones, that latency is just a massive issue. So in this video I'm going to be having a look at the headphones that I bought, why I bought them, we'll talk a bit about latency, and towards the end I'm hoping to do a quick demo to try and show you how the latency is not really noticeable. Whether that's going to come off or not, I don't know. We'll find out at the end of this video. So I'm going to be right back with all of that in just a moment, so don't go away. So before we get into the detail, I must make it known that I am not being sponsored to produce this video in any shape or form. I have no affiliation with Avantree, and I bought these headphones with my own money from Amazon at the full retail price. So I'm not getting any sponsorship, or anything that I say in here is influenced in any way. I should also point out that I'm not an audiologist and I'm not even a competent guitarist. So everything in this video is from my experience of using these headphones for the last 3 hours or so. And obviously my experiences could well differ from yours if you are an experienced guitarist or maybe a professional where you need that little bit more from the headphones that, you know, maybe I'm not particularly worried about. That said, using these for the last few hours with both my Spark amp and also my new Fender Mustang Micro, I've been really pleased. So this video is not sponsored, I'm not an audiologist, and please do your own homework before you go out and buy a pair of these or anything like it. So what my recommendation would be is to go and get them from a retailer that will enable you to try them before you buy them, or that has a good returns policy. So please take everything in this video on the understanding that you're hearing it from a beginner and somebody who's not qualified. So one of the big issues is latency. And forgive me, I'm going to be reading quite a lot of this, and I've taken this from the Avantree website. There's a really nice web page on there, but it is important that you understand this problem with latency and Bluetooth where you need immediate feedback. So what do we need to know about latency? Well, the term latency is used to refer to a slight but noticeable time lag between when a transmission is being sent and when it is actually received. So audio latency is usually very noticeable when you're playing the guitar, because the guitarist is very in tune with when the string is physically struck and when the note is heard by the guitarist. And it needs to be instantaneous, or as near instantaneous as is possible, because any latency could, and often does, result in problems maintaining a clean and consistent rhythm when you are playing. Now, latency occurs when you're listening through a pair of wireless headphones or a wireless speaker, and of course we're talking about wireless headphones today. And this is because when audio is transmitted wirelessly using Bluetooth or 2.4 gigahertz, the audio transmission takes time to travel from the transmitter to the headphones or the wireless speaker, and this is when you have latency. Now, Bluetooth devices use a range of digital audio encoders and decoders, which are also known as codecs, and I'm just going to refer to them simply as codecs during this video. And these are used to transfer data from the main audio source to the Bluetooth audio device. So in my case, it's going to be my transmitter to my wireless headphones. Now, the codecs have advantages and disadvantages that are unique to each, and I'm not going to get into those too much, but it is interesting to note that some codecs have been specifically developed to address latency issues, and these are often found in higher quality or higher end Bluetooth devices. And that can very often mean spending a lot of money, and occasionally when I was looking, some of those were way out of my price range. But these that I found seem to be quite a nice sort of middle ground where they're not too expensive, but they're giving back the performance that I particularly needed. Now, although there are many different types of codecs available, it's interesting to note that all Bluetooth devices have to support SBC as a very minimum. So there are different codecs. What types are they? I've just run through a few of the more common ones. So you get SBC, which is sub-band codec, and that's the most basic codec which all Bluetooth devices must support. It has a noticeable 200 to 220 millisecond delay, and that's the codec that I think that most people refer to when they're commenting on the forums and particularly on my channel, because they are quoting the 200 to 220 milliseconds as being unusable, and I would agree with that it would be unusable, but there are other options. So there is also a codec LDAC, which is Sony's proprietary Bluetooth audio codec, and that has a variable bitrate support, but I haven't got any millisecond stats for that, I'm afraid. We then start getting into the upper levels, which is aptX. So that's lowercase apt and then a capital X. And at the bottom level, so just plain aptX, that is 48 kilohertz and 16-bit audio. So you get better sound quality than you do with SBC, but you still get a noticeable 100 to 170 millisecond delay. So aptX was something that I would be tempted to rule out if you're looking for low latency headphones. We then go up to aptX high definition, which are 48 kilohertz 24-bit audio, and they give better sound quality than aptX, but I wasn't able to get any millisecond stats, so I'm going to assume that they give you a better sound quality, but you've still got the latency issues that you would have before. Because we then get into aptX low latency, and that codec gives you 32 to 40 millisecond delay, and they're primarily designed for video and gaming applications, so they're very, very low latency where you're getting feedback almost immediate. And I'll talk a little bit about this millisecond delay and why the 32 to 40 is important in this context. We then get fast stream. Now fast stream is quoted as being less than 40 millisecond delay. And all I've got as far as the stats are concerned is less than 40. Quite a lot of them are saying next to none, but I don't think that can be right, because if you're working through wireless there must be some level of latency, but it's just publicised as less than 40. It also supports two-way SBC audio, but I don't think we're that worried about that in the context of this video. But also fast stream isn't overly commonly available. So the only manufacturer that I could find with them, and there are bound to be others out there, was Avantree, and that's why I went with that, because I wanted to have this top level fast stream codec support on both the transmitter and also the headphones. And it's important to note that both the sending and the receiving devices need to support the same codec for it to work. So I need to have both of mine supporting the fast stream. Now, while some measurable latency is inevitable while streaming audio, studies have shown that latency of 45 milliseconds or less is not noticeable when playing games and watching television. What they talk about is no lip sync issues. So below 45 milliseconds can therefore be considered to be perfectly in sync with the video. And I took the gamble by thinking that if the lip syncing is that close, and being partially deaf, obviously lip syncing is something I pick up very quickly on the television when it goes out. I took the gamble that the headphones would be close enough as a beginner for me to be able to work with those using the guitar. And I really, really, really wanted to go wireless headphones. I hate having wires around my head. So when looking for low latency headphones, you really need to look for the lowest possible latency that you can find. And I personally think that it needs to be aptX low latency, or as I've done, fast stream. That would be my benchmark to try and set yourself against. And as I said, so when I was looking for my headphones, I decided to opt for a set that supported fast stream, and the headphones and the transmitter in the HT5009 both support that fast codec. So it suited my budget, it had the codec I wanted, and that was the gamble that I took. Now there is a pro version of the headphones that Avantree supply, and the transmitter that comes in my box is supposed to be one of the better ones, and it's been suggested that if you pair the Pro wireless headphones with the top level transmitter, then you'll get even lower latency and even better performance. That doesn't come in a combo. You would need to buy the two separately, and then that pushed that way outside of my budget. But if budget is no option, is not an option for you, you can pay whatever you want, then my advice would be to go for that particular combo, which is what other people have suggested. So let's have a little look around the box. So the box comes with obviously the name on it, just a picture of the transmitter and the headphones themselves. On the side there's just some support information. The features, so if I just read the features out to you, so no need to pair, hassle-free wireless TV headphone transmitter set for TV. Now remember, these are made for the television, not for guitarists. There's nothing out there for guitarists because, well, there just isn't, but these are for TV. No lip sync delay, ideal for watching TVs, videos, movies and gaming. There's an optical port support for the latest model TVs. Well, we're not going to be using that because we're just going to be going through the aux. Class 1 technology transmits audio signals up to 164 feet or 50 meters. The headphones provide up to 40 hours of use, and I haven't actually charged these since I bought them. I've been using them for about 3 hours so far. And perfect for video games. So fast stream codec, supports dual channel music and voice. Now I haven't used voice, I believe there's a built-in microphone, but I'm not really interested in that because we're just using them for the guitar. So what's in the box? We've got our headphones, we've got our transmitter, the optical audio cable, we've got a 3.5mm audio cable, a 3.5mm to RCA audio cable, so that's to plug in the back of your television, the micro USB power cable, two of those, one for each for charging the units, and there's also a user guide. So on the other sleeve, no pairing required, low latency, pass-through support. So if you did want to use these with the television, then you can have the transmitter transmitting to your wireless headphones and also to a speaker that is wired. And there's also extended playtime, whatever that means. Some of the specifications, and I'll probably put these up on the screen. The model number for the headphone is BTHS-AS9S, Bluetooth version 4.1. The supported profiles are headset, HFP, A2DP, AVRCP, whatever any of that means, I haven't got a clue. The supported codecs is fast stream and SBC, that's important. Operating range, class 2, so up to 30 feet, 10 meters, which seems to contradict what I said a moment ago. Hey ho. Operating time up to 40 hours playtime and 20 days standby time. There is driver size of 40mm, impedance of 32 ohms, and a frequency response of 22 Hz to 20 kHz. With regards to this transmitter, that is model number BTTC-500P. That supports Bluetooth version 5. The supported profile, A2DP and AVRCP. And the audio codec support is aptX low latency, fast stream, aptX and SBC. So both of them support the fast stream, which is what I'm interested in. And the operating range for the transmitter is 164 feet or 50 meters. So we just slide off the sleeve. We then get a cardboard box with some support information on the top, just where to get the support. Nothing overly special about the box. We then get our headphones. Just put those over there. We then get our transmitter, which is nice and compact. On the side of it we've got off and transmit. We've also got TV and AVR, so that tends to be decibel monitoring, and then the connections on the back for our cables. We then got our various cables and our optical cable, and then underneath the flimsy plastic bit some important advice and some other paperwork, and then of course what's in the box, product overview and some basic instructions. But when you take them out and you connect them up, they automatically sync for you. You've just got a couple of buttons to press and it actually talks to you, so it's all rather nice. So I'm going to stop now. I'm going to set this up and then we'll try and I'll take you through the setup and then we'll do a quick test. So I'll be right back with all of that in just a moment. Okay, so I don't know how well this demo is going to turn out, but I'm going to try my best. Not scientific by any stretch of the imagination, but just to try and give you an idea. So I've got my iPhone, which is connected to a lapel microphone, which is into the headphones. I will do a close-up shot of this. That's using a 6-meter cable, so quite a long one. I've then got a power bar, which is going to be powering the transmitter, which is then also connected to the Spark amp using the auxiliary cable, so basically the headphone cable. And with regards to the transmitter, you do have to have that powered via USB all the time. So sometimes I'll use my power bar, sometimes I'll use my laptop. Unfortunately in this room I don't have a USB wall adapter, but if you've got one then you could probably use that as well. But so long as you've got a compatible USB charging point, then that should work. As I said, it does also work with the Fender Mustang Micro. I've used that quite a lot, just again using the headphone out on that using the auxiliary cable that comes with the headphones. So that's pretty much it. So if we now turn on the Avantree.
Power on. Bluetooth transmitter mode with active bypass.
So we get told okay, we get told that we're connected and we're ready for use. And then on the headphones, if we just press and hold that for a moment.
Connected. Ready for use.
Then we get a connection between the two. So you just got to turn that on and just hold that for a moment. And then if I just play something on the guitar, again it's going to be nothing fancy. Hopefully you'll be able to see. And then what I'll try and do is I'll just try and bring this in really close to the iPhone, and I'll just pick a string. Just trying to get a view that you can see here. I'm just exaggerating those picking movements for the moment, just to hope that you can actually see when you're picking and try and pick up on the latency. So just to talk you through the setup, I've got my iPhone, which had got the lavaliere microphone through to the headphones. That was just literally tucked in there. My Spark amp, I got the auxiliary cable coming around to the transmitter here, which was powered by my power bar just via a USB cable, and I had my guitar cable round into my guitar, nothing more. So normally when I'm playing, I've just got the transmitter hooked up to, if I just move that out of the way, So normally when I'm playing, I've got my power source to the transmitter, to the amplifier, and then my headphones totally separate. A really nice little setup. Now, I must remind you that I am not an audiologist. I'm not an accomplished guitarist. I'm simply a beginner. And the whole of this video has been my experience of using these headphones for practicing the guitar. Personally, I'm not picking up any latency whatsoever. I've normally got the amplifier probably 2 to 3 feet away from me. I haven't tried longer distances, but I have used them outside in the garden and I have used them indoors for about 3 hours. The only issues that I have found on 2 occasions, so on one occasion when I was strumming really quickly, I did find that I don't know whether it was it or something else, but it seemed to jumble the signal a little bit, and just for a moment or two it wasn't crystal clear. And last night when I was playing, I actually had my phone next to me because I actually connected my phone up through the Fender and I was playing with a backing track, and for about 2 or 3 seconds I had a click through the headphones whilst I was playing. I stopped playing for a moment and it cleared, and I haven't had that again. So maybe that might be some external interference. I'm not quite sure, but in 3 hours of playing, just to have those 2 issues for probably a second or 2 each, I can certainly live with that. And like I said, I really like the fact now that I can play without having the cables around my head. I've literally just got the one cable from my guitar into the amplifier, and at some point when funds allow I may well go wireless for that as well, but for the moment really cool. The other thing that I should also mention is that if you do go with these headphones, there is also an auxiliary socket on the headphone itself. So if you were playing, for instance, with the Fender Mustang Micro, which is fixed to your guitar, you could just use that wire from your headphones down to the guitar, so you'd still be able to move around. You could easily play in the garden or whatever. It wouldn't be wireless, but almost as good, and that way you don't have any latency issues. So you still do have that option to do that. I haven't actually tested that myself because I'm quite happy with the wireless features of this particular unit. So that is the Avantree HT5009 wireless headphones. A purchase that again I am really pleased with, but please do your own homework, do your own checks, and make sure that they're suitable for your requirements, because whilst I'm happy with them, you might not be. So I hope this video has been useful, and I look forward to seeing you on another one coming very soon. So take care. Bye bye.